and gentlemen, and welcome to the Naked Truth Podcast.
Taking makeup?
All right, we're back with another episode. I almost forgot what I was doing today. I guess, life be life. And so today I'm wearing the hat of Will, part of the infamous, worldwide known, soon, podcast called The Naked Truth. And we got an interesting topic today. You want to introduce it?
I bet. So the question is, do you if you have a passion or a dream or something that you're chasing, do you chase that to the sacrifice or detriment of a relationship or partnership with somebody else? Or are you supposed to work on the partnership and find a way to compromise in securing or chasing said dreams?
Well, my question to that is, why does one have to sacrifice a relationship in order to pursue or chase their passion or dreams? Why can't they do both? Why can't you have a supporting partner that is going to support and push you to chase your dreams?
What if your partner's idea of support isn't necessarily what is truly going to motivate you to get to that next level?
Then they're not the right partner for you.
At that point, you could also easily say that they could be the right partner for you, but if you're kind of 1 foot in and 1 foot out, then you're not necessarily invested enough to make them the right person for you. So I feel like it's that constant, where do you draw the line? Or should you even be trying to draw the line? And should you just kind of chase and do what you're doing and then hope that by the time you reach a certain level of success, then you can, have the time to invest into somebody with the same amount of attention you would have given your passion or your career or whatever it is your chase is?
I disagree with that. The right partner is going to invest in you because they see the vision. They are going to motivate you. They are going to inspire you to pursue your dreams and your goals so that you can be successful. I think it was an article the other day where I can't remember the man's name, but there's a guy who is very successful, right? And whatever business he was trying to do, he couldn't afford to invest in the business that he has. His girlfriend at the time took her money and invested in him so that she could support his dreams and his goals. And now he's like a multimillionaire doing whatever he does. But, for me, I just feel like the right partner is going to make sure that they are supporting, investing, motivating, inspiring their partner to pursue their dreams and their passion.
Will?
I almost didn't want to comment on this because this is a little bit triggering for Will. Will was told in a past relationship, because that person may not claim it as a relationship, but I was in a committed relationship with them. They said, and I'll make sure I don't want to misquote them, and I'm not here to blast them or anything like that. So I'll try to do my best to protect the innocent. That they had the best year of their life. They got some education achievements. They were working on some stuff for their house and even got a better paying job to give them more disposable income, right? And while you were talking about passions and talent, like that could still be considered like someone's, passion, whatever it is that their goals are they're trying to achieve. And they said they did it alone, of course, with God's help. But they said that they used to want to be in a relationship, but they're starting to see more and more that they don't want to. They're doing much better alone. And so my comment or my reply was like, well, why would you think that somebody, if you're in a relationship with someone, that person would be holding you back from achieving those goals, those dreams? Because hopefully, if you're in a good relationship, a supportive relationship, one that's equally yoked, where nobody's jealous or, you're competing with the other person, that person should be there rooting you on, at least at the minimum as the cheerleader, if not supporting you along the way, making sure that you don't forget your appointments or whatever it is that it is to get you to that point of success. So whether you be an up and coming artist in the music industry, whether you are a side chef and, doing catering and, whatever it is that your passion is, hopefully that person should not be standing in your way. They should be ride or die. Now, we could take it to like the NBA. Like there are only very few people who are still, or even not even just the NBA specifically, but we could take any professional sports. It's very few people that you will see them still with the person that they were dating, like from even high school. LeBron, of course, is still with Savannah. And there's some few relationships like that where they were with them when they didn't have nothing. And, she didn't necessarily stand in his way of, whatever he wanted to pursue. So why, again, just like Antoine said, like, why should you have to wait until you're established pretty much to then get in a relationship? Somebody can be with you from the beginning and just be that ride or die. I mean, we saw what happened with the girl that Kanye West was dating. He made a song about it. And you saw what he did. So there's that possibility that, you could be that ride or die and still get kicked to the curb, even though you could have been. I don't know what happened in that situation or relationship, why they broke up, but you end up not reaping the benefits of the success when it gets there. But that's part of the risk of dating that person. They could eventually find you tiring, boring, whatever reason, and want to get rid of you, and you just got to move on. And so I don't think pursuing your passion should have to wait. Like, and let me just say, this is Will. I ain't speaking for nobody else. I'm not no relationship expert. I'm just saying, for me, I can pursue my passion and still pursue my love at the same time.
I want to touch on something that you said in your earlier comment, right? I think people make the statement that your ex made out of ignorance, right? And what I mean by ignorance is I think people don't understand that you can be independent, but still have a relationship and have somebody that supports you, right? I think the misconception that a lot of people have is that if they get into a relationship, they can't have their own set of independence, right? They can't be out here getting MBAs or starting their own business and doing this and doing that and being successful because they got to focus on a relationship. But you should still be able to have your own independence, focus on your own goals while still having somebody supporting you and pushing you to meet those goals.
I think it's very difficult for people to respect people's agency when the framework of a relationship is kind of based in like this certain level of togetherness. So it becomes very difficult, like if your partner is making a lot of decisions that, at least for the foreseeable future, is really benefiting them to eventually benefit us. Like, I think for a lot of times it gets hard for the other person to really see it, especially if there's not a significant return on investment up front. I also think that um, it can get a little tricky because depending on what you're chasing, there's a certain amount of attention and attention to detail that I feel like a partner can get kind of jealous about if you're able to put that time into this external thing, but then on the flip side, it's kind of sacrificed, or the level of attention to detail you're kind of given to the relationship because of that chase is kind of lacking. So I'm not gonna say you completely have to just like give up on it or don't try, but at the same time, I think there is such thing as a half-hearted try or trying to like have your cake and eat it too in a lot of those situations. And I do think that when you don't necessarily have the responsibility of somebody else, I'm not going to say you move faster, but I feel like you just are able to move without necessarily second guessing whether or not somebody's going to feel a way about the decisions that you're making. So I think it all kind of weighs up together to where you have to really weigh out the pros and cons. Is it better? Or am I somebody who, if I already have the mindset of being better alone, does it make the most sense to even try to engage in something that's going to cause me to also have to sacrifice a bit of myself for this to work? The same way how whatever you're chasing is already forcing you to sacrifice a bit of yourself to work.
So I think when people have that mindset, then that means they are not ready for what comes with
Mhm.
a relationship. So they just need to kind of really just be single and focus on whatever they're focusing on. But I think there are people out there, right, that understand that I can go out here, fulfill my dreams, be successful, and still have a loving relationship and partner that also helps push me, motivate me, inspire me, and support me. And it doesn't interfere with how fast I'm moving or how quickly I'm getting something done or how successful I am, because there's a saying, right? The old people have this saying. Well, I'm not gonna say the old people have this saying, but there's this saying, right? Behind every good man, there's a good woman, right? That analogy is exactly what we're talking about, right? A lot of older men feel like they are as successful as they are because of the support that their wife gave them during their times in their careers. And so I don't know what the statistics are, but if we were to do statistics, we would see that, a lot of people have been successful in doing this, right? Having a successful relationship or whatever success looks like to those people, and being successful in a career or whatever they were doing.
I think for me, um, a relationship takes work. And so if you don't have capacity, then you, the person who is pursuing, should be honest with yourself about your capacity. Now, people will sometimes take the easy route to say they don't have the capacity because they don't want to do the extra work. But
Facts.
it's, to me, like if you have a child, you don't have that ability to use that as an excuse. But that's a relationship that you have to maintain because that person ain't going away. That child is dependent on you. It's harder to maintain the relationship when it's an independent relationship where you are kind of like voluntarily pouring into it. And so if you can't, in your mind, figure out how to balance your commitments as well as your love life or whatever it is, that's more so on you than the person who's asking for you to just be a good partner. Because at the end of the day, like my love languages, my top two are acts of service and quality time. And so to me, that takes more work to not necessarily prove, your love to mean, but it takes dedication because you have to carve out that time to give me that quality time. It's not, oh, I drive by, whatever. It is truly like you are like, I know I got 24 hours in a day. I need at least 6 or 7 to sleep, but I'm gonna give you at least 2 hours of that because I want to make you feel important. And then the acts of service is the thoughtfulness because it's not necessarily the gift part. It's really about you thinking about that person because you're busy and the other person busy too. They have a life as well. They have to go to work. They got to do something else. I mean, unless they live in Diddy's mansion, and that's a different
Whoa.
topic. But but the fact is just again like if you are home, working on beats or whatever, but you took some time out to make dinner so that by the time I come home, we get something to eat. I mean, it's just that simple act of service there that makes me think that you thought about me enough to consider that, I'm hustling too. So to me, again, it's whether or not that person wants to pour that commitment. And a lot of people are not built for relationships. They say they want a relationship, but they're not ready for the work.
Facts.
So what makes you ready for the work of a relationship?
That's a good question. I think it differs per person, of course. My definition is how this person makes me feel. That makes me want to um, constantly like be a source for them as they are for me. I'm all about equal reciprocity. Now, reciprocity doesn't always have to be 50-50. I just want to say that for the record, but it shouldn't always be 70-30 will or vice versa. Like it should definitely at some point average out to 50-50. Even if it's a close 55-45, is my math right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, even if it's a close 55, I can do with that because I know at some point the scales will be tipped in my favor. Who knows, whatever happens. So for me, I know what Will can do. I know what I want to do also. And I definitely don't put my goals on the back burner. I think I can juggle pretty well. And so for me, it really depends on how that person makes me feel if I want to put that extra effort into making them feel good and want to be in a relationship with me.
I I agree with what Will says. I'm just going to add on to that just a little bit. I think for me personally, right, it takes me understanding and know that I am in love with this person, right? Not that I love this person, because there's a difference between loving a person and being in love with a person, right? For me, it takes me knowing that I am in love with this person, because when I know that I am in love with this person, there's nothing that I will not do for that person, right? Like, I want to make sure that they have everything that they need to be successful, right? So I am going to be the supporter. I am going to be the encourager. I am going to be the motivator. I am going to be, you know, the inspiration to help them reach the goals that they need to reach, right? I am going to go the extra mile and say, hey, I know you're out there grinding, doing whatever you need to do for whatever your passion or your goal is. I'm going to take care of the house, right? I'm going to alleviate any unnecessary burden from you so that you can focus on that, because that is how much I believe in you and how much I love you, right? And so I don't have a problem putting in that work, because I see the faith, I see the potential in this person. I have faith and hope that they are going to be successful, and I am going to do everything that I can. Yes, I see Will shaking his head, but I'm going to do everything that I can to push you to your destiny and your greatness, but also be focusing on my own destiny and greatness as well.
I shake my head on potential. Ain't nobody getting no more potential from me. It's either you got it or you don't. And we're not waiting for no plant the seed and wait for the miracle grow to. Nah, you gotta have it now, and I gotta be okay with what you have now because it may never grow. So I'm not. That's what I was shaking my head on. I'm not. I'm not. Potential is not a part of this
So
equation for
okay,
me.
so if you're in a situation where potential the is not a marker, then how do you manage people's right now and the ability for them to grow if there's no potential?
Not saying that they can't grow, because I'm saying that anything above and beyond what they have right now is plus plus plus.
Got you.
Like I'm not relying on that to be a measure. You know what I mean? Like if you are a bus driver today and you end up being a bus driver till you retire, you never want to be a manager or grow in your career. I have to be okay with you being a bus driver today and forever until you retire. And if that's your passion, if you like, look, I don't want to be in management. I don't want to go anywhere else. I love driving this bus. I love meeting people every day. Whatever it is, I have to be okay with that. Whether it's a blue collar or somebody who's always gone because they're in a high profile type of corporate job where they're in a different city, or maybe you're a flight attendant and you're always in another city, whatever, like whatever that person's profession, whatever it is that is where they are in their life. When I meet them, I have to be okay with where they are now, and then everything else, if they pursue it, or even if they quit and say, you know what, I want to be a painter, I have to be okay with that potential that that person could one day say, I don't want to be the rich executive anymore. I just want to sell tomatoes at the farmer's market on Saturday. Like, but whatever it is, I have to be okay with that.
So you're okay with loving somebody's now?
You have to. And I and when I say have to, if you want it to be successful, you need to be able to love this person with nothing and with all the bells and whistles. That's what I'm trying to say. So if you're waiting for this person to reach a certain milestone or achievement to then love them, like, you're wasting your time. And not saying that Antoine said that. I'm just saying, for me, there are people who are like, and this is a situation with the person who's dating someone who was, in high school or whatever, about to join the NBA. We don't know what's going to happen. Are they going to go first in the draft? Are they going to go last in the draft? Are they going to get picked up? You don't know. And so you have to know and say, if this person break their leg today or tomorrow, we ain't going to be living the balling life. We ain't going to be living in no Beverly Hills. We're going to be living in a 3-bedroom, 2-bath townhouse in Manassas somewhere. I don't know. So I'm just saying, like, you got to be okay with the like the wedding vow say, good or bad, sick or poor, whatever. Like, you got to be okay with it.
So I disagree with that just a little bit, right? Like, I don't feel like seeing the potential in somebody means that, and I know you didn't say this, right? But I want to take my comment from this standpoint, right? I don't believe that seeing potential in somebody means that you don't love them in their now, right? Because I feel like, for example, using the basketball analogy, right? You're right. You don't know if they're going to be in the draft. You don't know if they're going to make it to the NBA. You don't know if they're going to get hurt, right? God forbid they do get hurt, but that doesn't mean that the potential that you saw in them, just because they are no longer going to physically be playing in the NBA because of an injury, doesn't mean that their potential to be successful is gone, right? They could become a sportscaster. They could do something else sports related outside of playing the game They could become a coach, you know, that still makes them be successful in whatever field that they want to be in. It's all about recognizing and understanding that just because that one dream that you had didn't come true doesn't mean that the potential in you to be great is gone.
Right. So what I'm saying is I'm attracted to drive. I'm attracted to hustle. I'm attracted to all those things, not the destination, but the journey. Like I am here for the ups and downs because again, I am hoping the I'm going to reap the benefits of that deposit that I'm pouring in when you don't have anything, so that if it does come out to something, like I can feel like I'm a part of that success as well. But even if we don't reach to that level of success that is like the multimillionaire or whatever, it's still like whatever it is that you want to pursue. If it's no longer basketball, it's no longer any professional sports, whatever it is, like I want to see you achieve it, and I'm gonna be there to help support you along the
So
way.
I see.
But couldn't drive and hustle be considered part of a person's potential?
No, it's the action, it's the verb.
Yes, it's
Potential
an
is
action,
the
but
future destination.
but potential doesn't mean destination.
Potential is the destination. Potential is the
I don't think potential is the destination. I think potential is the idea or the dream of a destination, but I don't think it's the actual destination. And if you have drive and hustle, that goes hand in hand with a
so,
person's potential. Because the drive and hustle is what is getting you
so I
to
see
the
dangers in
destination.
both. I see dangers in the potential because I feel like somebody can start to envision the things around your potential success and start to fall in love with what may come more than what more than they're actually accepting your now, and to Will's point, that journey. On the flip side, I feel like the dangers in the now is if your now starts to affect what is established through that journey. I think that that can also be dangerous. Like if somebody is, I don't know, Fortune 500 CEO and then wakes up one day and is like, yo, I'm picking berries for the rest of my life. That's it. But you've built a lifestyle and a family around, some of these things. Then I think that it can be dangerous for both sides of what you're willing to accept. And ultimately, I think that's really the thing. It's like, what are you willing to accept? I think back to the original question. What about success? Because you brought up Kanye's famous line, when he get on, he leave your ass for a white girl. What about success starts to allow people to diminish what was for what is to come? The same way, yeah. That
well, money provides more opportunities in spaces that you didn't have access to when you didn't have money. And so you were fine with like a 7 or 8 when you didn't have no money. But
Mm-hmm.
a 7 or 8 when you got money is really more like a 4 or 5 when you compare them to what money can provide or give you access to. So then you really be like, well, damn, am I really devaluing myself because I can get a 10 easy now with this money? You know what I mean? They got their line up outside the door. But now I'm considering all these things like she ain't got no BBL or whatever imperfections I got to deal with, that like those 10 girls outside got it fixed or whatever. I ain't got no complaints about what they ready to do whatever they got to do to make me happy. And now I got to deal with whatever things that I look the other way if you were complaining or whatever. Like now all of a sudden I'm like, do I really need to put up with this when another shorty who's just willing to keep her mouth shut or whatever, guy, whoever you dating, is willing to not, provoke you because they understand your value and they're like, I don't want to fuck up this bag, so I'm going to do what I need to do to keep this person happy. And now, like for me, I've always said I can even date somebody who is in the sex industry, whether they be a porn star or somebody who is an exotic dancer. Because to me, I'm like, if that's your dream and your passion, because some people don't even want to do it anymore for money, but they just enjoy performing, right? And to me, I know my feelings are in check because as long as they come home to me, that's that quality time that I'm talking about. Like, you can go do your job, which again is sex work or whatever, but if you come home to me, like, you could still be out there in the streets. You had a choice, but you decided that you would want to spend the quality time with me. And so that's why it never really was a question about whether or not, like, that was something. But even if I was dating you and you were using sex work as your disposable income to get to another level, like maybe you are doing that to open up a wig shop, or you're going to be whatever it is, you know what I mean? Like, I'm okay with that because that's your drive, that's your passion. And so you like, look, I'm not going to be doing this all my life, but I'm doing this now because this is what I got to do to hustle. And whether it is you're doing sex work or you work in 12-hour shifts, whatever it is, that drive is what's going to make me attracted to you, and not necessarily where you could end up. Because again, the destination is the potential. But I just know that if you are working so hard about whatever you're going to get, whatever you're working on or working towards, that whatever it is, it doesn't matter as long as you are getting up every day and deciding that you want to do something with yourself. So that's why I was saying I'm attracted to the drive and hustle, not necessarily the potential.
Antoine?
Because you could be a bus driver and that's your hustle, like, and that's all you want to be is a bus driver. Again,
I mean, I think we're saying the same thing, just a little differently. Like, for me, like, I'll use myself as an example, right? I am in love with a person who is.
did you just say the words "I am in love"?
Yes,
Okay.
I said I am in love.
This is a status update on. Y'all been listening. Y'all know what's going on in Antoine's life. He has now said that he is in love. Not love somebody, but in love. Go ahead.
Yes,
Go back
I
and
am
listen
in
to that
love.
first episode.
You know what?
Whatever.
We're not doing this tonight. We are not
How
doing this
the
tonight.
tides have turned.
Well, we gonna get to
Anyway.
that status question in a
For
minute,
sure.
but go ahead. Tell your.
I am in love with someone that has that drive and that hustle, right? They have that drive and that hustle to want to do better, to want more for themselves, to be successful in their area of work. And I recognize and see that, right? And it's very attractive. I love that they have that ability to constantly be disciplined and be determined to always do better, right? But I also see the potential in them to be bigger than what they see in this moment, right? And that potential that I see in them is not necessarily an expectation that I have for them. It's the drive and the hustle that they have that is so strong that I can see them going bigger than they plan to go, or then they see themselves going in this moment, because they're only focusing on this moment where I see a bigger picture, right? And so for me, because I love this person very much, I am going to always support them, encourage them, motivate them to continue to push and pursue and fulfill their dreams in their line of work, because I know that they have a very big vision of what they want to do and the outcome of what they want to do that I feel like is going to be very life changing. And so I feel like, to my earlier point, what I was saying, like, that drive and that hustle goes hand in hand in my mind, right, with that potential. And so I kind of feel like, to Will's point, like, the drive and the hustle is the vehicle, right? It's the action verb, it's the act, it's the doing, it's the working that gets you to that place, as Will said, that destination of potential. But I also feel like you got to have someone or the right person behind you to support you and push you in that. Because sometimes we don't always understand that we can, how far we can go when we have the right support and push behind us. If that makes
Well,
sense.
you were
It
shaking
makes
your head.
it makes a lot of sense, but I need you to do that discovery. Yeah, I guess I would call it discovery on your own. I cannot be not saying that you can't consult with me, like as your partner. If you want my opinion or like to give some advice, and then Antoine, you already have life coaching skills or whatever, so of course you would be a beneficial partner to date. But I need you to be able to know what you want to do, and then if I can help you, give you, like you're saying, show you the bigger picture, fine. But you still have to wake up every day and want that big picture, not because I exposed it to you or revealed it to you. Like if you want the small picture, I have to be okay with you only wanting a small picture and limiting your potential. Again, I have to be okay with where you are today and where you want to achieve and be fine. Because we could be talking about somebody. Say, for instance, somebody is like a poker player, right? And they become a professional poker player. Like every day, they could either hit high or they could lose it all. But at the end of the day, am I dating them because they're going to potentially hit the jackpot, or am I dating them because they get up every day and hustle? Because, but at the same time, are you hustling and still keeping your household in order? Because you can't be hustling and your drive is costing you your livelihood, like you losing your apartment, house, whatever, because you're gambling too much or whatever. Like, that's a different conversation. So it's not just drive, but it's a healthy, responsible drive is what I'm attracted to.
No, I get that. I get that. And I agree with that, right? Like I agree you definitely have to know what you want in that moment, right? I don't want to be the one to tell you what you want or to show you what you want, because I'm not your parent. I'm not trying to be your parent, right? My job is to be your partner, right? To help assist you once you decide what direction you want to go in. So I definitely agree with that, right? And I will say this, right? I would still love this person if they just wanted to stay in the place and spot that they are in right now, right?
You can still be in
Um,
love with them.
yes, I would still be
You
in love
said
with
love
them.
them, but you didn't say I would still be in love with them. There's a
I
difference.
would still
I can still
love
love you,
and
but I
be
don't.
in
I'm not in love
love
with you no
with this
more
person.
because you're not making that
Let me
money.
clarify for the listeners out there. I would still love and be in love with this person, even if they wanted to stay in the spot that they are in, right? But because I know this person's drive and hustle, I know that just staying in this spot that they're in is not going to be enough for them. I know that they desire more. And so, because I know that they desire more, not that I want them to desire more, but because I know that's what they already want, I don't have a problem or issue being that person to motivate and inspire and encourage them to want to get to that more.
It's just a lot that comes with dating people.
It
It
is.
could be a lot of baggage that you may have to deal with. I think I saw a meme or somebody sent something to me saying a girl was working 3 jobs to help pay this guy's child support, and it never said what the guy was doing to help pay his own child support. But what if she is doing that hustle because she sees his potential in something that she's like, I'm a hustle for you because you doing your own thing, trying to get on game, whatever. Maybe he's a boxer or somebody, who knows? But that's that person's decision. I can't do it. and I don't know if I can say that you a dummy for doing it. I don't want to, but I would never do some that silly to be, you know, risking or adding stress to my life by working multiple jobs to support you and your passion. But I'll do everything I can. Again, for me, Will is now living in this era of whatever is spilling over the cup is yours. And so it used to be a time where as long as half of my cup was filled, then I can pour out half into other people, even the people I date. But that is no longer a thing. Will is only sacrificing, and it's not even a sacrifice, it's a blessing to me that anything that's spilling over the cup is what I am pouring into others. And so as long as I'm not sacrificing my minimum, which is a full cup, I will be there to support you, whether it be in person or from a distance. You know, I am here to encourage you to, you know, on that journey, because everybody needs that person or a person like that in their life. And hopefully you love them or are in love with them at the same time.
I agree with that. It's definitely to each its own person's, you know, decision to make.
Because I can sweep up the money at the strip club. I listen.
Hello, listen.
I am not above. I will do whatever I got to do. If I'm free on a Friday night and you want me to count the dollars in the back, I can do that. I can sanitize whatever you want me to do. Like, then we should tap into that.
I'm with you when you're right.
I don't know why I'm talking so much about sex work.
All right, final.
To all the sex workers out there, he's available.
Sex work is work. We gonna get you a benefit plan on Obamacare, because we need some benefits. Because yeah, or at least you going. Well, I can't add you on mine because we're not married. But yeah, we gonna get you right, because everybody deserves to pay taxes and get benefits. Yeah.
Final thoughts on this topic.
I think people should do their own self-evaluation before they get involved or get in love with somebody, fall in love with somebody, because it's only right that you present what is your best available person and have the capacity, or at least be upfront about what you have the capacity for. And so if you are dating an up and coming artist and you like, you know, I can't deal with you being on tour and having to do all these gigs. Like, I need my quality time. And right now, if you can't afford to, you know, provide that, you should just be straight up like, listen, I love you, or, you know, I like you, whatever it is, whatever level. But I can't provide that, what you deserve. And don't look at it, or don't treat that person bad because they have certain limits or standards that they're setting for themselves. They're creating boundaries to make sure that they are satisfied and not, you know, dating somebody who's ultimately gonna make them feel like in an unequaled relationship. But you as yourself, you have to do your own self-evaluation about somebody who's proposing this situation to you. Are you willing to negotiate and, you know, sacrifice a little bit? Because maybe your standards are a bit high, and not high, but if you want this to work, you're gonna have to, you know, do some cutting of the trimming of the fat in order for it to work. And so you don't necessarily have to, but if you want to, you may have to consider that.
I'm going to say this and echo what Will said, but I also want to add, independence does not equal sacrifice.
Whew.
I'm going to say it again for the people in the back. Independence does not equal sacrifice. You can be independent and have your own things and do your own things and be successful and still be in a loving and supportive relationship with the right person.
You touching on another topic that we might tap in later, but it's the difference between independence and interdependence. And so truly, if you know what the both of those definitions are, then you are on the right foot to having a successful relationship. And don't be afraid to ask for what you want, because whoever loves you or are in love with you, like Antoine is, they will do what they need to do to make sure that you're happy.
So let me just before this episode ends, let me just give
by the name
some
of
clarity because I already see
Antoine
where
says he
they're
is
being
ready, he is
poked,
in
right?
love, and he is here to provide. So
I am definitely in love. I am definitely here to provide. However, I am definitely single and happy.
Wait, what? Hold on.
Why are you shaking your head? Wait, hold on. Why are you shaking your head?
confused.
impossible.
What's
How is
going
that
on here?
impossible?
How are you in love with somebody that you're not committed to?
Because you can be in love with somebody that you're not in a relationship with.
Pause. We gonna listen. Tune in to this
Yeah,
next
for
episode.
sure.
This is part 2 because we gonna tap into this. This is a whole
This
nother
is different.
topic on a whole nother.
This took
We
a
gonna
whole
get
nother left.
real. Listen on the next episode of The Naked Truth.
Let's get naked.
We gonna get naked. Tune in. Tap the button. Press the next button. Hit next. Do what you gotta do. This one the juice.
Thank you for listening to The Naked Truth. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and follow us on all social media platforms at The Naked Truth.